Once upon a time in the land of ancient Israel lived a very special boy named Samson. His parents, Manoah and his wife, had been unable to have children. One day, an angel of the Lord appeared to Samson's mother with a wonderful message. The angel told her she would have a son, and he would be a Nazirite from birth. This meant he was dedicated to God and had special rules to follow, like never cutting his hair or drinking strong wine. The angel also told Manoah, Samson's father, that their son would begin to deliver Israel from the Philistines, their enemies. God had a great plan for Samson even before he was born. Even before he was born, an angel visited his mother and told her that Samson would be a Nazirite, set apart for God. This meant he could never cut his hair, and he would be blessed with incredible strength to help his people, the Israelites, against their enemies, the Philistines. Samson grew up strong and brave. One day, as he was walking to a Philistine town called Timnah, a young lion suddenly roared and sprang at him. It was a fearsome sight, but the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon Samson. Without any weapon, he tore the lion apart with his bare hands, just as he would tear a young goat. It was an amazing display of strength, and Samson continued on his way, keeping this incredible event a secret. Now it's important to remember that God had warned the Israelites not to marry people from other lands, like the Philistines. This was to keep their hearts focused on God and His ways. But Samson, following his own desires, chose to marry a Philistine woman. Sometime later, Samson returned to Timnah to marry a Philistine woman he had met. On his journey, he passed by the place where he had killed the lion. He was curious, so he turned aside to look at the lion's carcass. To his surprise, he found a swarm of bees living inside the lion's body, and they had made delicious honey. Samson scooped some of the honey into his hands and ate it as he walked, even giving some to his parents without telling them where he had found it. Imagine Samson's surprise. From something strong and scary, like the lion, came something wonderfully sweet and delicious: the honey. This teaches us a beautiful lesson about God's amazing ways. Sometimes in our lives things might seem difficult or even a little scary, just like that lion was to Samson. But God is so powerful and so loving that He can bring good out of any situation. He can turn our challenges into opportunities for blessings and our fears into moments of joy. Just like the honey in the lion, God's goodness can appear in the most unexpected places. This honey was a special gift, a sweet reward after a brave moment. It reminds us that God always takes care of us and provides for our needs, often in ways we don't expect. And when we receive good things, like Samson found this honey, it's a wonderful chance to remember God's kindness and to share that goodness with others. Sharing our blessings makes them even sweeter. So when you face something new or a little bit tough, remember Samson and the honey. Trust that God is with you, and He can bring sweetness and blessings even from surprising places. He is always looking out for you, and His love is sweeter than any honey. At his wedding feast, Samson decided to tell a riddle to the 30 young men who were with him. It was a tradition at feasts to challenge each other with puzzles and riddles. Samson, being clever, had a special one in mind, inspired by his secret encounter with the lion and the honey. He said, "Out of the eater came something to eat, out of the strong came something sweet." He told them that if they could solve his riddle within 7 days, he would give them 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothes. But if they couldn't solve it, they would have to give him the same. The Philistine men tried and tried, day after day, to solve Samson's clever riddle. They whispered, they pondered, and they scratched their heads. But the answer remained a mystery to them. They were growing very frustrated. On the 7th day, they went to Samson's wife and threatened her. They said, "Coax your husband into telling us the riddle, or we will burn you and your father's household to death." Frightened, Samson's wife wept and pleaded with him, saying, "You don't love me. You've told a riddle to my people, but haven't told me the answer." Day after day, she nagged him until he was so weary of her pleading that he finally told her the secret. She then immediately told the answer to her people. Before the sun set on the seventh day, the Philistine men came to Samson and said, "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" Samson knew at once that his wife had betrayed him. He replied, "If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle." Samson was very angry. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him again, and he went down to the town of Ashkelon. There he struck down 30 Philistine men, took their clothes, and gave them to those who had solved the riddle. Later, Samson fell in love with another Philistine woman named Delilah. The Philistine leaders offered Delilah a large sum of money if she could discover the secret of Samson's great strength. Delilah tried many times to trick Samson into telling her his secret. Each time, Samson would tell her a lie, and she would try to capture him, but he would easily break free. Finally, after much nagging and pleading, Samson grew weary and told Delilah his deepest secret. His strength came from his hair, which had never been cut as part of his vow to God. While Samson was asleep, Delilah called for a man to shave off the 7 braids of his hair. As soon as his hair was cut, his strength left him. From Samson's story, we learn that God has a special plan for each of us, and it's important to listen to his instructions and follow his path. Our choices have consequences, and it's always best to obey God's warnings and the wise advice of our parents and elders. God gives each of us unique talents and strengths. We should use these gifts to honor him and help others, always remembering that our true strength comes from him. Even when we make mistakes, God is always ready to forgive us. He can still use us for his good plans, showing his amazing grace and power through our lives. Good night, little ones. The Philistines then captured Samson, gouged out his eyes, and took him to Gaza, where he was bound with bronze chains and forced to grind grain in the prison. But slowly, Samson's hair began to grow back. The Philistines gathered for a great celebration, bringing Samson to entertain them. Samson, with his hair grown long again, humbly prayed to God, "O Lord God, please remember me and strengthen me just this once more, so I may avenge my 2 eyes on the Philistines." And God heard his prayer. With a surge of God-given strength, Samson pushed against the 2 central pillars of the temple with all his might. The temple collapsed with immense power, killing Samson and more Philistines than he had killed in his entire life. God used Samson's final act to bring about a great victory for his people. Then, filled with rage, Samson went back to his father's house, and his wife was given to one of his companions. And so, the story of Samson and the lion teaches us about God's special plan for Samson, his incredible strength, and the challenges he faced. It reminds us that even in difficult times, God has a purpose for each of us. Good night, little ones.